So then this week, we are looking at another chakra, the throat chakra, the Vishuddha Chakra. Last week we were in the heart, the Anahata Chakra, and we were looking at establishing like a sacred meditative space in the cave of the heart, so to speak, where we feel that we can transcend relativity, we can go beyond the play of the opposites of life and find a very deep peace. So here at the throat chakra, or the Vishuddha Chakra, it's more a place of transformation. It's a place where one can be an alchemist and to take energy and to mold it or transform it as one wishes. So let's look at the biological counterpart of the chakra, which is the thyroid gland, this butterfly-shaped gland in the throat. So the thyroid is, to some extent, also an agent of transformation, in that the thyroid is connected to the metabolism of the human body. So the metabolism is taking oxygen and calories at the cellular level and transforming those into energy. So the thyroid then is a biological agent of transformation to energize at the cellular level, so the human body can do its various functions. And the thyroid gland is also a temperature regulation. It works with the pituitary together. So the pituitary is kind of like the thermostat, and the thyroid is like the furnace. So if the pituitary senses the body is too cold, then it will send a message to the thyroid to increase the body temperature. And if the body is too warm, then the opposite will happen. The body will be cooled down with the working of the pituitary and the thyroid. So there's like a transformation of heat, if you will. And within that process, the thyroid plays an important part. So already we're saying biologically that there's a function of transformation taking place. Now, let's come to the chakra itself, which is the psychic and spiritual counterpart of the biological gland. So the chakra, as I mentioned, is called Vishuddha. And at least in our form of Tantra, so I'm on the path of Ananda Marga. So with Ananda Marga's tantric perspective, the throat chakra is the place of all colors and all shapes and all of the sounds of the musical scale. So if one controls all shape, then you can make whatever shape you like. If you have mastery over every color, you can paint whatever you like. And if you understand the sounds of the musical scale, you can create whatever music you like. So then this chakra has all of the building blocks, knowledge of all of the building blocks necessary for creation within the field of life. So in that sense, it's very transformative. If one understands the building blocks, then one can reformulate those building blocks as one wishes to transform something into something else. At this point, let me tell a mythological story which illustrates the point of transformation. So in this story, the gods and the demons wanted to extract the nectar of immortality from the cosmic ocean. So they got the biggest mountain in the universe, and they found the biggest snake in the universe, and they tied the biggest snake around the biggest mountain, and with the gods on one side and the demons on the other side, they were churning the cosmic ocean. And from this cosmic ocean, jewels were coming. 12 beautiful jewels came. But then a really polluting, dangerous substance emerged from the ocean. The name given to it was Hala Hala Kala Kutu. And it was about to pollute and destroy the whole universe. So naturally there's panic. My goodness, what do we do? So one of the gods called upon Shiva to take action. So Shiva took the poisonous substance and he put it into his throat. And in his throat, it was transformed, it was neutralized. And that's why Shiva got the name of Nilakanta, which is the blue-throated one. So this is the story of transformation. Shiva was able to take the negative energy and to neutralize it. So we are not mythological beings, we are earthlings, but nevertheless, we need to master the art, the skill of transforming energy. And I'll give another little anecdote, which I think explains this so well. It's from the world of education. So a teacher was having a challenge with a child in this classroom because the child was spitting on its hand and rubbing the hand over other children's clothing. So naturally, this is not acceptable, that one child is spitting on the hand and rubbing it on the other children. So the teacher could have screamed at the child, like, stop. But instead, the teacher used a very intelligent way to transform the energy of the child into something positive. So the teacher put paper, white paper, on a wall and gave the child hand paints and said, okay, take these paints and go and do what you like on the wall. So it's a similar concept of putting something on the hand, but this time it's not to disturb the other children, it's to create something on the wall. So this is a very intelligent transformation of energy. It's not suppressing the energy of the child, but it's taking a negative expression and transforming it into something positive. So we all dream about this, right? We all yearn for this, to be energy alchemists, to transform negative into positive. It's a daily challenge that we face. So then, having said that, let's get to today's quote. I need to, sorry, I have the glasses back on. So I need to share the screen again. All right, so again, it's a paraphrase from the works of my Guru, Sri Sri Anandamurti. So here, we're going to combine this principle of transformation with time. The topic of this particular meditation session is time for the timeless. And so we're bringing these two themes together, transformation and time. Nothing in this world is static. Everything is in motion. Everything is dynamic. Motion is the sign of existence. This universe is the macro-psychic expression of supreme consciousness. You know, not just spiritual people or religious people, but scientific people are also trying to understand what is consciousness. And I was reading an article yesterday in the New Scientist, whereby some mathematicians are trying to develop a mathematical model to prove that the universe itself is conscious, which is very exciting, because it's baffling for scientists, like where consciousness comes from. I mean, how do we human beings have the ability to smell or to taste and to be able to, explain that we are smelling and tasting, for example? For the yogi, it's understood that there is a universal consciousness, and our individual consciousness is an expression of that. Or you could say the universal consciousness flows through each created entity. So one consciousness expresses itself through many created beings. And so this is what this is alluding to, that there is a supreme consciousness, a universal consciousness, and it expresses itself into the universe. So then it says every particle moves according to the flow of the cosmic mind, taking shape and undergoing transformation. So the idea is that the consciousness, the universal consciousness, flows through every created being in order to guide every created being back to the source. So then this is an evolutionary process of developing across time. So everything is taking shape and undergoing transformation. So this is a basic rule of existence, that nothing is static. Change is the order of the day. And so we should get used to change, given that change is innate, it's programmed into every expression of the universe. So that nothing in the universe can remain motionless. Some kind of transformation is inevitable through the passage of time. Some kind of transformation is inevitable through the passage of time. So then, this is what we're going to be meditating on today, is change across the passage of time. Studies have been done as to how we human beings represent the change in ourselves across time. When one looks at the past, say the past 10 years of one's life, one may think, oh, well, I've made a lot of change. My personality's improved, I have a better character, I'm more affable, more pleasant, maybe I'm more virtuous, I've refined my actions and I'm much more in control of what I say, right? We may analyze ourselves comparing the present to the past and be quite happy with the changes we've made. But often what happens when we look at the future, we don't think we're going to make as many changes. We tend to feel that our history ends right now with the present. Well, this is what I've become, and so this is the person I'm going to be going forwards. But there's no reason why, if we see a lot of progress over the past 10 years, we cannot also imagine we can make similar progress over the next 10 years. And this is, of course, where imagination and hopefulness, positivity, are extremely important. That we have the belief that if I changed so much already, I can also change a lot more in the future, that my life doesn't end here, that what I am today is not the end point of my evolution as a human being. I still have a large journey ahead of me, and I can change every step of that continuing journey. So this is what we'll be looking at in the meditation. Now, there is a Sanskrit verse which we use in a certain meditation in this chakra, in the throat chakra, that talks about one who is the master, the knower, if you like, of the throat chakra, understands the past, the present, and the future, is able to navigate through the past, the present, and the future, can use time as a resource, can mold time in such a way that it becomes an asset for one's evolution through life. Sounds like a nice concept to mold time to suit one's evolutionary progress.